Okay, hello everyone. Today we are here at Wyoming Valley, and we have a 76 nautical mile flight to Wings Field just north of Philadelphia. We are in the Cessna 172 Skyhawk with Simcoder's Reality Expansion Pack, and we'll be doing a deep dive for this flight, doing a full pre-flight walk-around, covering flight planning with a flight brief, doing a cold and dark startup with checklists, and a run-up. So we'll be going by the book for this, and you will get to see all the details that I put into planning each of my flights. Before we hop into the cockpit, though, let's take a look at those two awesome airports. So my videos are usually more cinematic and less focused on cold and dark startups, but I thought it would be awesome, since we're flying with Simcoder's Reality Expansion Pack, to do the full walk around and checklists to truly do a cold and dark startup with our Cessna Skyhawk. So we are in walk around mode. We'll go through the checklist here. We've got the parking brake set. Our avionics power switch is off. The master switch over here will turn on. Our fuel, left-right fuel tank, both at 14 gallons. That looks good. Our flaps, we'll put 2 full down. That's so we can inspect them during the walk around. And our master switch will turn back off. Next, our fuel valve is on. Our fuel selector is on and to center tank. Alternate source valve is off, and our trim is set to neutral. Okay, our baggage door is secure. Our elevator moves freely. Our rudder moves freely. Remove the tail tie down. Our antenna is intact. Our flaps are secure. Right aileron moves freely. Move the right tie down. Check the fuel. Fuel looks good with no water contamination. Remove the main wheel chocks. Engine oil looks good at 8 quarts. Remove the cover. Check the propeller and spinner. They look good with no damage. Our tire status looks good. Left fuel tank. Fuel is good with no water contamination. Remove the pitot cover. Remove the tie down. Check the landing and taxi lights. Those both look good. Aileron moves freely. Flap is secure. Remove the left wheel chocks. Okay, we'll check our weights and balance. So we've got passenger and the pilot. In the front seats, nobody in the rear seats. We are carrying a little bit of luggage. So I'm going to put in 50 pounds for the luggage. Fuel tank's built at 14 gallons. Looks good. We have about an hour of flight time. That looks right. We'll be using 6.8 gallons per hour out of our 28. So more than enough fuel. And we are within our limits here. Okay, so we've got the East Texas VOR about halfway between us and our destination airport. So on departure, we're going to pick up the 182 radial to East Texas VOR, and then once we arrive at the VOR, we're going to fly the 153 radial from East Texas until we arrive at Wings Field. It's 44 miles to East Texas VOR. We should be able to pick it up, but if we can't, plan B is to fly to the intersection of Interstate 80 and the PA Turnpike, pick up the Victor 29 radial from Wilkes-Barre-Scranton VOR, and fly it along heading 190 until we come to the East Texas VOR and get it in range. Wyoming Valley is within KAVP's TIRSA, and there's no reason not to use it. So, realistically, once we were airborne, we would contact AVP and pick up flight services while we were within their TIRSA. My VFR chart indicates the tallest terrain is 3,100 in this tile. ATIS shows clouds at 4,500, and the mountain I need to clear is at 2,500. So I will fly at 3,500 on departure to remain clear of all obstacles and remain safely below the clouds. If we have to divert, Alpha Bravo Echo Allentown is a Class Charlie airport which will have all of the services that we need, so we would contact Allentown Approach and get instructions for landing. There are also several untowered fields before and after Allentown, including Arner Memorial and Butter Valley, which we could use in an emergency. Wings Field is an untowered field underneath the outer shelf of Philadelphia's Class Bravo Airport, which starts at 3,500. I will start my descent before reaching the outer shelf so that I remain clear of the class Bravo. Fuel selector is to both. Fuel selector is still in. Our circuit breakers are all in. Let me move the yoke so I could see those. That looks good. And the checklist doesn't have me turning the battery back on, but I'll turn it back on so I could get the beacon on. Alright, beacon is on. Our avionics are both still off. Our master switch, oh, there's the master switch. I went out of order. Master switch is on. Get the throttle to 1/4 inch. Mixture is to cutoff. That looks good. And we are starting the engine cold, so we're going to put on the fuel pump, then put the mixture to full until we get 3 to 5 gallons per hour. Then back to cutoff, then we're going to turn the fuel pump off. And if we don't do this right, it's going to flood the fuel tank. So let's see how this goes. Fuel pump on, mixture in, there's the fuel flow, mixture cutoff, and fuel pump off. That was not mixture cutoff. There we go. We probably flooded it. All right. So we'll check the propeller area. That looks good. Clear prop. There we go. All right, we'll get our avionics on. Looks good. Alternator is on. More at 76. There we go. All right, we've got the DG set up. That looks good. We're gonna verify our VORs. I've got those both dialed in, so we'll be using both the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton VOR near AVP and also the Texas VOR, which is near Wings Field.
Spring Hill weather. Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 22.
We'll be squawking VFR for this, so I'm going to get my transponder to standby. That looks good. And my first heading is going to be 182. So I've got that dialed in on OBS. Let's get that into the heading bug as well. Oops. 182. Alright, looks good. So our oil temperature is in the green and our pressure is in the green. So I think that we're okay to taxi. We're on 122.8, which is CTAF. We do have a Class D airport near us, but our heading is going to avoid their airspace. So we'll be fine. Make our CTAF call. Wyoming Valley traffic. Cessna 809091, taxi runway 9, Wyoming Valley. I made this airport, by the way. If you like it, I will put the link in the details for this video and you can download it. Alright, we'll do our run up, get our brake set, our flight controls are free, our flight instruments are set, our fuel selector is to both, our elevator trim is set to take off, our mixture, we get to full rich, our autopilot is off and disconnected, get our throttle up to 1800. Our ammeter is in the green. That looks good. Our alternator is on. Engine instruments look good. Our vacuum is in the green. That also looks good. Magnetos. left, right. Looks good. Throttle to idle. Alright, didn't stall. That looks good. Our radios are set. At 122.8 I got the navigation frequencies put in. Strobes on. Pitot. Fuel pump. Transponder to altitude. Lights, camera, action. Wyoming Valley traffic. Cessna 80901, departing runway 7, straight out departure, climbing 3,500 Wyoming Valley. Rotate. Get back on runway heading. Alright, we're going to stay on this side of the Susquehanna River off to our right, because the Class D is just on the other side of that. And that's Wilkes-Barre-Scranton International Airport. Coming up on 500 above pattern, we're going to make our turn. So the reality expansion pack for the Cessna, the default Cessna Skyhawk, really is fantastic. It's a little bit of a hassle if you like to just hop in your airplane and start it up. Sometimes it can make it difficult with flooding the engine or other unexpected things that happen, such as fouling the spark plugs because you don't do everything correctly. But aside from some of the hassle of needing to do it correctly, the airplane just flies so much better. It taxis so much better too. It really feels like it's flying. So the improvement in flight model alone is a big selling point for me for it. Just Flight released, or not Just Flight, Simcoders released the reality expansion pack for the Piper Arrow, and it's the non-turbo Arrow version. I own the turbo Arrow version, so I'm hoping that they will release that next, because I will definitely get it. Coming up on 3,000. And I was chatting and I never turned off my fuel pump or landing light, but I'm gonna wait a minute until we're clear of the field here and make our turn, and then I'll get it.
Wind 090 at 8, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 2,400 view, 11,000 broken.
Wings Field traffic. Cessna 80901, 10 miles north at 2,600. Entering left downwind, runway 6, full stop, Wings Field. Wings Field traffic, Cessna 809091, left downwind, runway 6, full stop, Wings Field. Wings Field traffic, Cessna 809091, left base, runway 6, full stop, Wings Field. Wings Field traffic, Cessna 809091, final, runway 6, full stop, Wings Field. Wings Field traffic, Cessna 809091, clear runway 6, Wings Field. Alright, well that was a lot of fun. One of the things I really love about the Reality Expansion Pack is that it keeps you honest. I came in too high, and because of that, I was going too fast on final and floated, probably about a third of the way down the runway. In reality, I probably should have done a go-around for that, but it's something that I can learn from. So I hope you enjoyed all the detail of the full flight planning. If you liked it, be sure to click like or leave me a comment so that I can do more videos like this. So as always, thanks a lot for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.